going on out there, YouTube? This is Samuel Leggett representing JVS. I'm back again for another movie review for a movie called Promare. This movie is nuts on so many different levels, and I am very thankful to Funimation for allowing us to be able to go and check this out very early, to be able to screen it, be able to dissect it, and I'm going to try to give you guys as clear and concise of a non-spoiler review as I possibly can. I'll try to give you an abbreviated synopsis. I don't have anything literally tangibly here, it's just going from memory. You have a world that was normal, just like the world we have, and then all of a sudden a catastrophe happened where multiple different people all across the world start having this sickness where they start to engulf and burn from the inside out. Much to kind of like Fire Force, but very different in that when they did engulf, they didn't burn out themselves, but everything around them incinerated. So it might be somebody is upset, or somebody is on train stressed, or somebody is just walking and just feeling some kind of deep emotion. That emotion just came out, and the Burnish were created. And from that point, a period piece goes down. I don't want to spoil too much, but there is now, in present day, a situation where the Burnish are thought of as people that you don't want to associate with, that are outlawed, and that could be considered terrorists. And then you have like a group that is considered the Fire Force. Not really, I'm just joking. They are kind of like a fire brigade, and they're the fire department that are trying to go and stop these Burnish from causing too much collateral damage from everybody, working people, and the environment around them. But they have mechs, they have suits, they have equipment, and they have special tools to be able to cool down and stop these Burnish, or harness them by kind of just freezing them, or wrapping freezing guns around to be able to keep the perimeter of safety in any kind of general way. That's the best synopsis I can give you. You got from the fire department, you got Lucia, who's kind of like the driver and the tech person. You got Varys, who's like the muscle, like the pilot mech. Ignis, who's kind of like more of like a leader and a coordinator, precisely doing everything. Remy is kind of like the brains, really smart, really intuitive, but also as a pilot of the mech. And then you got Anna, who's like more of the air and the craft pilot. And then you have our main hero, who is Galo. Galo Thymos is the hero. He is the person that's the front man, and he works really hand in hand with everybody. Specifically, he gets a lot of his tech from Lucia, tech that he doesn't know if it can work. But one of his most embracive traits is like, I have a burning heart inside of me, and I'm gonna stop you Burnish from terrorizing the area around. Like, even without knowing, there was like literally opening when they were going and like engaging against the Burnish situation, and like two of the Burnish was like, yo, this dude's nuts. Like, it's so wrong with him. And like, but the thing about this film is that it has a lot of heart, a lot of meat, because you don't know that there is a very interesting core to these Burnish, how things are happening, why things are happening, how people are being used, how politics can be easily evolved and eloped into the situation, and how two specific people that are on different sides of this, which is the boss Burnish and Galo, and how they're going to change the world completely from the point that they meet. And it's very fascinating how the whole progression of this goes. The sound design is amazing. Like when the guns or like the Burnish like flame something or something happens, and I didn't watch the English dub of this. I just looked at the regular Japanese translation with English subtitles, and the voice acting, the sound quality is so on point. Like you like when they're in their mechs, you actually kind of feel it. Like there's like a sense of danger, and like there's kind of like an echo, and like things are happening. But then when like they are in a dangerous, perilous situation, the voice actors just command the lead. They do such a really good job of painting a picture of what's really happening. Dialogue is very smart, very meaty. I felt like there was different layers to this movie specifically, because in the very beginning you kind of just like, whoa, what the heck, this is a whole lot, because I haven't even talked about one of the most best assets, the VFX and the graphics, but I'll get there, I promise. Because in the first stage, like I said, it's so flashy, And then you start to like, whoa, what's going on here? Whoa, what's going on with the Burnish? Whoa, what are we missing here? What is really actually going on? And then by the end of it, you're kind of like, you're completely different in your thought process of every class of person in this movie by the second or third act. And then by the third act, there's this other thing that happens, and you're like, what did I just see? And it immediately makes you want to go back and see this movie. And this movie has a lot of repeat value. There's a lot of different hidden gems that you might miss the first time around that you don't want to really actually miss. So let's go to the biggest thing. The action, the fights. Now, the masking for the VFX is all done very precisely in the way that the mechs move, in the way that the Burnish are able to kind of like use alchemy-based processes to create things. The fight styles, the guns, the artillery, the vehicles, like they're all stylistically done in a certain kind of way that's very different than what you've seen before. And I think that is something special. I really do think that Promare is something that I thought was going to be one thing, and it totally blew my expectations out of the water, to be quite honest with you. Man, I have so many notes that I probably should have done a spoiler review on this. There's so many different characters I can't even talk about because I feel like there'd be spoilers there. There's different weapons too, like that Lucia makes, but then there's also other people, like Anna's has a sister named Hiris, who works with a corporation that is kind of like monitoring certain things and also backing and financing certain things that Galo and his team are doing. There's a person named Craig Governor who kind of like helped put Galo in a good situation to be able to be a hero. And there's a lot of backstory there. There's a lot of meat there that I can't really say. But let's just say that eventually you find out that Lio, or Lio, Lio is a person that Galo meets who is burnished, and he is very interesting. Because at first I thought that Lio was legit a woman. Like, if you look at it from a visual standpoint, like just the titles, you would literally think Lio is an actual girl. But they just kind of, I gave him feministic like hair qualities and certain traits. But he very much so is a patriot. And he has so many different layers that he might end up being one of my favorite characters that they've done in a long time, just because of who he is. And I didn't get it the first time around. Second time around, I was able to really pay attention to really where his heart was kind of coming from and where his perspective was where he was based on him being a burnish. The other thing about it, there's a lot of different racial underlying themes here about people and their perspective on somebody that's not them, and what that does, and you know how dangerous that can really be, and how much of a detriment it can actually be to the natural progression of how people perceive what is safe and what is not, what an environment it looks like when everybody doesn't trust. And it's very fascinating character study on that level, and I think that it's very smart scripting it as such. I'm not sure if this comes from a manga or not, but I think that you're gonna have a ball looking at this movie. I think it's gonna be so entertaining from an action standpoint, and just some of the mechs and the transformations and the things that actually happen. It's so insane. But more than that, there are some really good character-based moments. There's some really good meaty dialogue, but then there's some stuff that's just like hilarious for no good reason, and some stuff is just unnecessary, animating it up. That's the way I would kind of put it. But if I had to give this movie a number, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Definitely one of the most entertaining action-based anime films I've seen in quite some time, and I definitely would love to see it again. Highly recommend you go and check it out. I think that the Japanese dub on its own is good enough. I don't think you need the English dub, to be quite honest. But I am curious to see how the voice acting talent would be in the translation to that. I did see a clip, and I think they did a really good job keeping preserving a lot of the sound levels and sound effects without diminishing. You know, so you know, sometimes like you got like a dubbing over, and like the sound is just completely different. They change out a lot of the songs. They don't do that for this one because the theme for this is dope. The themes and the songs are so specific, and I loved it. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Again, thank you again for Funimation for allowing Team JVS to be able to check us out. Peace, guys.